Okay, so we are doing our GED algebra. We are on page 15 of your algebra book. We're going to do 3, 7, 4, and 8. So make sure you're on page 15. 3, 7, 4, and 8. Let's start with 3. It says Lucy has money in a savings account. So right here, her money is M. That's how much she has. If she withdraws $50 each month from this account, in 9 months, she will only have 1/4 as much as she does today. Okay, so withdraw means subtract. So we're going to be subtracting $50 times 9 because it's going to be for 9 months. So it's going to start minus 50 times 9. And then it says she will have 1/4 as much as, so 1/4 as much M as she has now, money as she has now. Now we're just going to solve. Now I'm looking at this and I'm seeing that I have to do 50 times 9. So 50 times 9, plug that in your calculator, is 450. So I have, M minus 450 equals 1/4 M. I'm going to put my invisible 1 here. Okay? Now I got to get all the M's on one side. So draw my barrier here. And I'm going to move this M, this 1M here, to the other side so that I have the M's on one side. So I'm going to do minus 1M on both sides. So I will subtract those two and I have negative 450 equals, so 1/4 minus 1M, 1/4 M minus 1M, plug that into your calculator and you should end up with negative 3/4 M. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3/4. I'm going to end up with M equals, so negative 450 divided by, and make sure you keep your negatives, negative 3/4 is 600. And that is your answer for the first one, 600. Okay, so let's move down to 4. It's kind of the same notion. Aaron has a penny collection. If he adds 12 pennies to this each week for the next 18 weeks, so he's going to start out with P pennies, and he's adding, so we're going to do plus. He adds 12 pennies each week for the next 18 weeks. Then it says he will have 1.5 times as many. So this is times. Remember, times is just multiply. Pennies as he has now. So we're going to do P. Okay? Same thing. We have this right here that we have to draw our dividing line. That we have to distribute. So 12 times 18 in your calculator. So P plus 216 equals 1.5P. Going to put my invisible 1 there. I have to move this 1P to the other side, so I'm going to subtract 1P from both. Left just going to cancel out. So I have 216 equals 1.5P minus 1P is 0.5P. Going to divide both sides by 0.5. Cross out, so then P equals, so I have 216 divided by 0.5, and that'll give me 432 pennies. $4.32, huh? Okay, so now we are on number 7, talking about Cody. After an $85 per month raise, Cody earns in 8 months only $50 less than the total he used to earn in 9 months. How much X did Cody used to earn each month? So they gave us that first part. First part starts with 8 times X plus 85. And we want to know how much he earned in 8 months. Or it started with the 9 months, sorry. So then we have 9X, and then it said $50 less. That less means minus 50. So it was 9 times his original amount, and then it was $50 less. Okay, this one's a little bit more tricky because we got a couple of steps. First, we got to distribute that 8 to everything in those parentheses before we can really get going. Put your invisible 1. So 8 times 1X is 8X, and 8 times 85 is 680 equals 9X minus 50. Okay, now this is more similar to the equations we've been doing. We see we have X's on both sides of the barrier wall, and we have to move X's, so I'm going to move that 9X. I'm going to subtract it. Right, they cancel out. Left I have negative 1X that was a plus. Plus 650 equals negative 50. Okay, so now I know I have to subtract 650 from both sides. So right cancels out. I have negative 1x equals negative 700. So now I got to get rid of this negative 1 right there. I do that by dividing negative 1 to both sides. So x equals $700. And if you go to this point and you end up with a negative 700, remember, it's talking about money. And if you're earning and you're working, you're not going to hopefully end up with negative money. So think about it like that too. Okay, dokie. Let me black this out so this doesn't confuse us. Okay, it says, after taking a $2.50 per hour pay cut, Di now earns $8, 8 hours, only $2 more in 8 hours than the total she used to earn in 6 hours. How much did Di used to earn each hour? So they once again did this first part for us. It was 8 times S minus 250 equals, now we got to deal with that 6 hours. So 6 times S, and then it said $2 more. So because it's more, that's a plus 2S. So I'm going to put our invisible 1 in there, and we're going to distribute this 8. So now I have, and I'm going to scoot over here to work. 8 times 1S is 8S, and 8 times negative 2.5 is minus 20 equals 6S plus 2. Oof. It's a confusing one to talk out. Okay, now we got to get our S's together. So I'm going to move this 6S by subtracting it from both sides. So I have 2S minus 20 equals 2. Now I got to move that 20, so I'm going to add it to both sides. Now I have 2S equals 22, and I'm going to divide both sides by 2 to get S equals 11. And that is your answer.